For the last few days, I have meditated over the reveal of Star Fox 2026. And after much pondering, much contemplation, and much big ol' thonkin', oh my gosh, I really need to do more cardio. I have come from the mountain with a revelation. Star Fox 2026 is not a game that was designed for me. And that is totally okay, actually, because not everything is designed with you in mind, and that's just how reality works. Initially, I was disappointed. Apparently, a lot of people saw that. Hi new followers. Hope you're doing good, by the way. But I'm the kind of person that tends to get over stuff like this fairly quickly. And while this game is not designed for me, I am still really happy it was announced for a variety of reasons. Reason number one being, people are talking about it. People are talking about Star Fox. I still don't know how to wrap my head around that. I'm used to just yelling into the void about my hyperfixation. But now it's like the void is actually answering back. And for the most part, they're pretty nice. And because people are talking about it, more people are looking into getting into the series, which is just objectively a really good thing. Like seriously, I made a whole video about how the thing I wanted above all was for whatever next game to just sell real good and to do good. And that kind of feels like it could be a reality. And while it didn't happen in the way that I wanted, it's still happening, probably. And that's just a massive W for all space furry fans. So while Star Fox 2026 is the one thing I did not want Nintendo to do, inevitably from all of the buzz and all of the people talking about it, I have found myself excited for its release. It's a complicated feeling, but I'm still feeling it, and from the comments I've received both here and elsewhere on social media, I'm definitely not alone. Regardless of my feelings, as a fan and a person with at least one brain cell, I have hopes for the new game. I've taken these hopes and divided them into two categories, realistic and unrealistic, and I want to share those hopes with you. First up, realistic hopes. I want the game to play real good. I know that sounds stupid, but hear me out. Surely, in your lifetime, you have played a remake before where they decided to change something about the controls and it just ruined the entire experience for you. Or it just made the experience less fun than the original. I feel almost silly for being worried about this, but you know, sometimes Nintendo, they get a little cheeky and they add some gimmicks to their products. Really for no good reason at all. And it brings down the entire experience tremendously. So I'm saying right now, Nintendo, please don't do that. Please. Do not. If this is going to be the definitive experience to play through the Lylat Wars story, I want the controls to be as immaculate as they were on the Nintendo 64. And I'm saying that because I don't really know how they could make the controls better, honestly. I think the game still holds up super well. A wise man once said, "Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't overcomplicate, keep it crisp. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. If the wheel plays real good, keep the wheel as it is." Next up on the list, I would like for there to be substantial cutscenes and character moments. I'm not asking for huge cutscenes, but I'm asking for enough between missions that they truly feel like a notable inclusion. I'm not going to put a number on this at all. I don't want to quantify it. But if they're going to advertise that there's new cutscenes, I want those cutscenes to be a notable addition rather than a footnote or an afterthought. Another way to put it is that the cutscenes better have enough in them that if this was the early 2000s, they would be compiled into fan AMVs on YouTube. If you know, you know. If you don't know, don't worry about it. In addition to this, I would like for the game to highlight the character interactions more thoroughly, and not just make Slippy the butt of every joke. We've had so many decades of haha Slippy bad at flying jokes. I'm tired, boss. Let him actually be smart as a character for more than just like one gameplay mechanic. Please, I am begging you. In addition to this, I would like to see more conflict between Fox and Pigma. I would like to see them having more exchanges over comms, especially since it was Pigma's betrayal that led to James McCloud's disappearance and presumed death. I want to see Fox crash out a bit about his dad being allegedly dead. I think it's kind of weird that Fox has pretty few lines about Pigma in Star Fox 64, if he has any at all. That is probably due to the fact that back in those days, protagonists were kind of like stand-ins for the player rather than their own character. That being said, if I were in Fox's position, I would have been racing against Peppy to turn that pork chop into bacon. Or whatever it is they say. But really, Fox has a lot of character motivation here. While he's definitely doing this for money, there's not a chance that Fox isn't also doing this for his father too. He wants that paycheck, but also I think the Lylat Wars could also be described as Fox's revenge run against Andros. And I think that's beautiful. Anyways, let Fox crash out. He deserves it. In terms of other dynamics I would like to see more of, I would like to see more of Bill in general, but also his friendship with Fox, and I'd also like to see a bit more of Kat, especially her dynamic with Falco. I also want to see Peppy talk about Vivian and Lucy. Pause. Raise your hand right now if you didn't know Peppy Hare was married. Raise your hand also if you didn't know he had a daughter in a later game. I want both of these characters to stay canon, and for him to at least, like, I don't know, mention that he has a family at least once? Speaking of family, I want Beltino to make an appearance since he was only mentioned in the guides for Star Fox 64 in the past, despite playing a crucial role in developing the R-Wing. But, we can leave Grippy back in Star Fox Guard. He's probably too busy evading taxes to be involved directly in the war anyways. Somewhat adjacent to this, I want Nintendo to hit us with a bunch of lore. The thing about the world of Star Fox is that there's a lot more lore than one would think. However, for some reason they don't really put that stuff in the game? At least not the bulk of it. They used to litter guidebooks and instruction manuals with lore, and while that's a cool idea on paper, it does make the lore a bit less accessible than it would be if it was just in the game. Also, I don't think guidebooks really exist anymore, and I don't think instruction manuals do either. So, yeah. In lieu of that, I want them to give us an encyclopedia. Yeah, you heard me right. I want an encyclopedia where you steadily unlock entries as you go through the game. I want entries about the planets, each sector, each character, each enemy, each ship. And more, if they want to give us more. I'm always down for more. I know in the direct we see something like a profile for James McCloud at one point. I hope we get something in the same vein for us players to read about the various characters and just bits about the Star Fox world. I feel like this is something that is in a lot of other games, so I don't feel like it's kind of a crazy ask, but I don't know, maybe I'm crazy because I'm a lore nut. Anyways, next up, I want more multiplayer modes. I'm really nervous that 3 maps and 3 modes just isn't gonna cut it, and people will drop this fairly quickly. More maps and modes can be in a future update, I'm okay with that. It'd be cool if they were unlockable though. And another thing that would be cool is if they brought back traditional PvP. Next on my list, I feel very weird about this because at a first glance, I did think a lot of the dialogue in the game was fine from the direct. There are moments that, at least from, again, what we saw of the game, that feel like they were changed for reasons I can't really explain. I do worry that they're doing that thing where they just kind of change things to change things, and they aren't really changing them for the better. I just hope they don't overcorrect whatever they are attempting to correct and cause the dialogue to fall flat or to be not very interesting to listen to. Snappy one-liners mid-level are kind of like a staple for the series. We all know iconic lines like "do a barrel roll" or "it's quiet, too quiet," or "sorry to jet, but I'm in a hurry." Those lines were iconic for a reason, and I hope they understand that just changing things to change things doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna make it better. Also, as a personal note, they better keep cocky little freaks and step on the gas. Those lines need no changing. They are perfect. Please do not change them or I will cry. And lastly, give me a sign that they are making more games other than this. Give me a little post-credits tease of anything. It could be Pigma waking up an Andros clone. It could be Crystal on a Cloud Runner against a stormy backdrop. It could be anything. Just a little crumb. There's been rumors of a second Star Fox game like Adventures for some time now, but I have yet to see it actually come from anyone with a good track record for leaks. So, yeah, I'm a bit worried this is the only thing we're getting for the foreseeable future. I want reassurance that more is coming, even if it's an Easter egg or a tiny little teaser. And you know what? I'll extend this beyond the game. If they drop another direct and they say more is coming, that is okay too. Okay, so now we have hit the unrealistic part of this video, and this is the part where I remind you that these hopes are probably not going to happen, and I respect that. But I will still hope for them anyways, because that is what the video is for, and so that's what we're doing. So without further delay, I want the game to surprise me. And I want it to be not exactly as it appears. While I used to not really have much of an opinion about this, I have found over the course of the last few years, my opinion on this particular subject has shifted. I don't really care for one-to-one remakes as much as I used to. I think that's because, generally speaking, when there is a game that is a one-to-one remake, I feel like there's a sense of redundancy. I'm not really someone who cares that much about graphics or voice acting, since I do play retro games quite often. I recognize I'm not in the majority when it comes to that though. To me, the biggest reasons to remake a game would be to add quality of life features, or to make the experience more accessible by putting the game on a current console, or, just add more content to the game. So for Star Fox 2026, I kind of feel like the first two items on that list are not really things that need to be addressed. Star Fox 64 still plays like a dream, and I feel like the game is still pretty accessible and has historically been accessible. I had it on the Nintendo 64, the Wii, the 3DS, and on Switch 1 and Switch 2. Yes, this Star Fox 2026 game does make the experience more accessible than before, but let's not pretend like this was some locked away vault experience that was impossible to reach. This isn't like Bloodborne being locked to the PS4 or anything. I'm very happy the game is drumming up hype for a series that I adore with all my heart. Don't get me wrong. However, I do feel like this game needs to contribute something further to the series rather than content that's largely been around for 30 years. There have been unsubstantiated rumors about this, but I dare not put any stock into those. Instead, I'm just going to blindly hope because I can, and who's gonna stop me? No one. That's who. Basically, I want Nintendo to pull a fast one on us. I want them to be hiding things about this game. I want it to be, okay, yes, a remake of Star Fox 64, but I also want the game to truly commit to expanding that experience. On the map screen, I want Fox to click a button, and then the map for the Lylat system just expands to add a bunch of new levels. Like, we're bringing back Elidard. I want Papatoon to be in the game. I'm tired of just hearing about Papatoon. I want to see it. And yes, I know apparently Papatoon is not even in the Lylat system, according to one of the people who worked on some of the older games, but I don't care. Put it in the game. We're bringing back Meteor and Space Armada. We're putting in, I don't know, Astropolis. And you know what? Make new planets. Make regions in the Lylat system that we've never seen before. If you're gonna give us 90% of a game that's already been out for 3 decades, give us at least 10% of something else to keep it fresh for the 5 of us who have been playing Star Fox 64 to death since the 90s. Give us more levels with new enemies and new boss fights, and I will be happy. And if that, during the Lylat Wars story, is not satisfactory, then I have an alternate proposition. Give us a post-game campaign. Sure, main story's Lylat Wars. Cool. Remake of Star Fox 64. Got it. But give us a post-game campaign of like, I don't know, 4 levels. Give us like a little something, you know? Maybe it's got to do with like chasing down Starwolf after we beat up Andros, or maybe it's a playable Starwolf campaign. It could be a campaign of what Starwolf was up to during the war when they weren't fighting Star Fox. And you know what? You wouldn't even really need to make a bunch of new planets for that. You could reuse assets from the ones already in the game. It gives new bosses, new lore, and you get to play as Starwolf. And honestly, that's huge. That's something fans have been wanting for years now. People have been asking for a playable Starwolf game for decades, and I think something like this could go over really, really well. It could be something for new fans to enjoy, and for old fans to finally experience, a sort of best of both worlds kind of thing. Give us new levels, new enemies, new bosses, and new bits of story in some way. That's all I'm unrealistically asking for. And last but not least in the slightest, in fact, this is the thing I want more than anything else. As I already have said, my biggest hope for Star Fox is that it performs well. While I am personally disappointed it's not what I had initially hoped it'd be, I recognize that this is still a chance for it to shine in the spotlight. The fanfare of a new game and the subsequent discourse has already made the series be at the center of people's attention for the first time in 10 years. And the sales are already looking promising. More promising than last time, at least, although admittedly the bar is kind of on the floor for that. I've been part of the fandom for Star Fox for 2 decades, at the very least. I've advocated for the franchise as much as I can over the course of that time. While I've made videos about other franchises on this channel, and will continue to do so in the future when I feel inspired to, the heart of this channel is Star Fox, and I'd even argue the heart of the reason I'm on YouTube to begin with is Star Fox. I'm so painfully aware of how much potential this series has, and I want other people to recognize its potential as well. If this is the step that gets us there, then I'm all for it. I don't love this step, but if it gets us more games, then I'll call this a massive win. As long as we can all agree that we're done with Lylat Wars retellings, remakes, and remasters after this. Anyways, at the end of the day, while I can ask for the sun, the moon, and the stars, I recognize that I'm a tired fan who will just be happy if the series isn't put on ice for another 10 years. So that really is my ultimate hope for Star Fox. I want it to cause the series to thrive. And that's just kind of it. Will I be seeing you take to the skies on June 25th? I certainly hope so. But if you are unsure or unable to get the game, I'm aiming to stream it day 1 on my Twitch channel. We are in a subathon, somehow. And we still have a lot of hours left. Now, before we end today's video, I gotta say something. Over the past few weeks, there has been a deluge? No, that sounds bad. An outpour. Outpour is a good word. There has been an outpour of support for this channel that has absolutely flabbergasted me and blown me totally away. To be quite frank, I have just been absolutely over the moon, super just like cloud 9, I guess. You guys have been very sweet and very kind, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all of the support, and thank you for just being cool. There were a lot of very sweet messages and kind comments, and I just want to let you know that while I haven't had time to go through and reply to every single one, I did go through and read every comment, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all of the sweet messages. You rock. The thought train left the station and I was not on it. Step on the gas. I'm sorry, this is really rambly. I don't usually like to script thank yous because I think they just sound fake. You know, they sound like, thank you for the support. And I don't want to sound like that. Thank you to all the people that are excited for the game, that you shared your POV with me, because that was really insightful for me. And I just want to let you know that I really appreciate you took the time out of your day to do that. That was cool of you. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling now before I make it awkward. But I just want to say thank you. I got more scripts. I don't know how I'm going to get all these videos made between subathoning for like 50 hours a week and all the other stuff I have to do. But by good golly gosh, it's happening. It's happening. Even if I gotta sack what little sanity I have left. It's not much sanity, by the way. Anyways, I'm gonna go eat nachos in the bathtub. It's part of the creative process.